Hello everyone, I am welcoming you all once again to this channel. Today I am going to start the first video lecture of our density functional theory series, and today we will start from the Schrödinger equation. And here we begin with the observation that one of the most profound scientific advances of the 20th century, and that was the development of quantum mechanics and the repeated experimental observations that confirm that this theory of matter describes the universe in which we are living. And in this section we will begin a review of some key ideas from quantum mechanics that underlie our DFT, but our goal here is not to present the complete derivation of the techniques used in the DFT. Instead, our goal here is to give a brief introductory presentation of the most basic equations which are important for our DFT. Now let's imagine a situation where we would like to describe the properties of some well-defined collection of atoms, and for this case you can think of isolated molecule or atoms defining the crystal. And one of the most fundamental thing we would like to know about these atoms is their energy, and more importantly how their energy changes if we move the atoms around. So to define where an atom is, we need to define both where its nucleus and where the atom's electrons are present. So as we know that this nucleus is a body that consists of protons and neutrons. So each neutron or proton in a nucleus has more mass than has more than 1800 times the mass of the electron. This means roughly we can say that electrons will respond more rapidly to changes in their surrounding than any nuclei can. As a result, we can split our physical question into two pieces. First, we will solve for fixed position of atomic nuclei and the equation that describes the electrons in motion. And in the second case, we can have the electrons in the fixed position, and we can say that the nuclei are now in the motion. But as we have seen that this heavier mass of the nuclei in comparison to the electron mass, we can go ahead with the first case where the nucleus are in the fixed position and the electrons are in the motion. So this separation of the nuclei and the electrons into the separate mathematical problem is known as the Born-Oppenheimer approximation. So for a given set of electrons moving in the field of a set of nuclei, we can find the lowest energy configuration of the electrons, and the lowest energy state is also known as the ground state of the electron. And for that, if we have m number of nuclei at positions r1 to rm, then we can express the ground state energy as a function of the position of the nuclei, where E is a function of all the position of these nuclei. And this function is also known as the adiabatic potential energy surface of the atoms. Once we are able to calculate this potential energy surface, we can tackle the original problem that we have paused above. Okay. Now the thing is, how does the energy of the material change as we move its atoms around? So to solve this simple thing, or to solve this potential energy problem, what we have is the Schrödinger equation. So one simple form of the Schrödinger equation is the time independent non-relativistic Schrödinger equation, and which we all are familiar with, and that can be represented as this H psi is equal to E psi, where this H cap is the Hamiltonian operator and psi is the set of solution or eigenstate of the Hamiltonian. Each of these solutions that is the psi n has an associated eigenvalue, that is En, which is a real number. So here one thing I would like to mention, that the value of the wave function psi n are complex number. but the eigenstate of the Schrödinger equation are real numbers. That means we are having the wave function which is a complex number, and it will give when it will be operated with this Hamiltonian operator, then we will get the real eigenvalues of this Hamiltonian. Now, the detailed definition of the Hamiltonian depends on the physical system being described by the Schrödinger equation. So there are several well-known example like particle in a box or harmonic oscillator where the Hamiltonian has a simple form and the Schrödinger equation can be solved exactly. But some situations are also there where we are very much interested in, that is the system with multiple electrons interacting with the multiple nuclei, and that is a more complicated one. Okay, so in this case we can write that equation as a many electron Schrödinger equation, and that equation can be written in this format. And here the in this equation the m is the electron mass, and the three terms inside this bracket is representing the kinetic energy of each electron. The first one is the kinetic energy of the electron, and the second one is the interaction energy between different electrons, and the third one is the interaction energy between each electron and the collection of the atomic nuclei. So our main problem is to solve this one. So this interaction energy between the electron and atomic nuclei can give rise to can lead us to solve the exact ground state energy of any system. Okay, for the Hamiltonian now we have chosen the psi as the electronic wave function. So this psi is nothing but our electronic wave function, which is the function of the spatial coordinates of each of the n electrons. So as you can see, this psi is nothing but the function of r1, r2 and up to rn, and all these r is nothing but the position coordinates of all our electrons. And so psi we can write it as psi as a function of the spatial coordinates of the electrons, and E is nothing but the ground state energy of the electrons, and the ground state energy is independent of time. So that's why we are saying that this is the time independent Schrödinger equation. So today we are going to uh, end our video lecture up to this, where we have only see what is the time independent Schrödinger equation for a many electron Schrödinger equation. Now from this we will try to solve how the Hartree product came, and how the density what is the concept of density and how it has been arises from this Schrödinger equation. That we will see in our next video. And this much for today's video, and thank you all, and bye bye.